Hello, everyone. My name is Svetlana Mucha, and I'm the founder and the leading matchmaker at Diolli.com. And today with me, I have our executive director, beautiful Katerina Romanenko. We both are wearing pink. And it happened randomly, so we haven't discussed what to wear. Anyway, this video is quite unusual. We want to discuss with you potential changes in our matchmaking process. And we want to hear your opinion if we should or maybe shouldn't make certain adjustments. I will explain to you how we came up with this idea, and we will talk about pros and cons, and then hopefully you will share your opinion in the comments below this video. So not so long ago, in the group of professional matchmakers, and we are the members of two matchmaking alliances in the US, so there are some matchmakers from Central and Western Europe there too, and we're also the part of that team. And one of the matchmakers, she was asking a question if she should show photos of ladies and men matches who said no to a date with her client. And she has written that she knows that some matchmakers do this. We at Diolli.com, we try to preserve the fragile male egos of our male clients, because we work as male clients, as paying clients, and we don't show them photos or don't tell them usually the numbers, how many ladies said no. We do it occasionally when the client totally loses touch with reality, then we can tell how many ladies actually said no. But we never actually showed photos of real people who said no, and we didn't share reasons. Well, with some men, usually when the age gap is involved and when the gentleman saying that it should be a piece of cake to introduce him to someone 15 years younger. So now introduce me to someone who's 20 years younger. Sometimes we tell how many ladies said no, and the reason is the age gap. I think we had this record breaker. You remember this guy, and 80 women said no before Alessia finally ran out of her office telling that we have a yes. So 80 no's. So Katerina, your ideas, I will stop talking and let you talk. Should we or shouldn't we show photos of women who said no to our paying male clients?
Hello, everyone. I'm glad that today we touched such an interesting topic, because really there are different models of matchmaking process, and different matchmakers in other countries, they use different models, and clients, they can choose which model works for them the best. You know, the first plus that comes into my mind of showing these profiles of ladies who said no is the cases when gentlemen they don't really value much the difficulty of this process. When we show a guy with whom we started the matchmaking process, the profile of beautiful, well-educated, interesting lady, he thinks that all the ladies who will like him will be like this lady or even better. And he really doesn't know how many ladies said no before we have found this wonderful lady. And she's not a random lady. We have interviewed numerous ladies to find this one who match his criteria of the search, who has the same values, life goals, view of family, of gender roles, and what is very important in this case, who is interested to be introduced exactly to this client. And they think that it was really easy to find this lady, and they start to lose this value of a wonderful lady who is interested to start communication with him, who wants to meet him. And he thinks that further there will be even better ladies. So if they have managed to find this one, then the other ladies can be even better. So he started to have this illusion of an endless choice that he will choose, because if this one was so wonderful, then further they can be ladies that will even be better than this lady. Of course, mostly they are thinking about appearance and big age gap, usually in this case, that the next lady will be even younger and even more beautiful. So this type of matchmaking process, it plays a really bad role with these clients, because it becomes very complicated for them to really understand that this lady can be a good potential match, and they always start to wait who will be further. And usually if you tell such men how many ladies said no, or how many ladies were interviewed to find this one, his attitude to this potential match will change. He will value this potential match, and he will concentrate on every match that you show him who has an interest to be introduced to him.
That's the perfect scenario when he starts, when he realizes that his approach is not smart. But usually men think that everybody wants to date me. Or Alessia, our psychologist, she has given such an interesting idea. I haven't perspective. I haven't thought about it this way. She said that some men, they think that they have paid for it. So the fact that he has paid for the service means that all ladies have to like them back, which is not the case. You have paid for our work, that we will do all those interviews and introduce you to the lady who not only matches all your criteria that we have agreed with you, but also has showed interest and is really excited, like you have mentioned, to meet you. We can't guarantee that she will like you back.
Yes, and the ladies, they go on a date with you with the goal to get to know each other better, and potentially to build relationship in the future. They were not paid to go on a date with you.
God forbid.
Yes, because where is the connection between the understanding that you have paid for this service and the desire of a lady to
I haven't thought about it. So really, I always saw it this way, that most of men, they have this idea that, okay, I have hired a matchmaker, so now everybody will like me because, well, that's me. So who won't want to date me? And especially people who choose international dating, sometimes they blame it. Okay, American women are like that, or Australian women are like that, but Ukrainian women will be open for a bigger age gap, or, for example, they won't be so picky about the looks of the guy. And the reality is that all women want to feel attracted to a guy they choose, and unless we are talking about like a very, very poor country, maybe age gaps are not very common. So like couples with the age difference of 15 and 20 years, well, they exist, but they are very rare and exceptional. So you can't claim that it's very common in Ukraine. So Alessia's perspective, that some men think that they have paid for it, I was thinking about it, and after analyzing like all the years of work, I think that some men really have this perspective. So which was a huge surprise for me, because I never look at it this way. In my opinion, you understand that you go out on a date, and no one can guarantee you, you can bribe the lady with nice compliments, nice flowers, great attitude, with your looks, yes, with some interesting stories. This you can do, but the rest, anyway. So should we or should we not show the photos? You have mentioned that okay, if we will show the photos, if a man is smart, he can actually get more grounded, get more down to earth, and understand that not all women find him a prince charming. And for example, it took 30 interviews with 30 women who match all his criteria, and only one has showed interest, for example, or only two have showed interest. I would say that another pro would be, because sometimes after we have started the process with the client and we start doing these interviews, for us, it's lots of work, because we look for those ladies. First of all, in our database, sometimes we recruit additionally, and we interview them, and then every day it's like you had this interview, and then we discussed that this lady, she didn't like, for example, his photo, or this lady doesn't want to date him because he has a kid from the first marriage, or this lady is not sure because he's a Sagittarius, or for example, this lady said okay to a date, but Alessia, our psychologist, has doubts that she will really like him during the date, like his personality. So for us, there is lots of action, but for a client, nothing happens. So we did all the interviews with him, and then we tell him that now we will conduct the interviews. So he doesn't see all these interviews, and for him, like, nothing is happening. So on the one hand, if we were showing him these photos, he will see that a lot is happening. So he will see what he actually has paid for all these interviews. On the other hand, all these no's, they can be discouraging, because sometimes when people try online dating, they have this illusion of endless choice, that there are plenty of profiles, but when they actually try to tag those ladies and to get those dates, they understand that not everybody is open to even go out and have coffee with him. So after looking at his profile pictures, for example, people ghost, people change their mind. So he has already received lots of bruises on his male ego, and sometimes people are burned out. They feel like, okay, dating is not for me, there is something wrong with me, I shouldn't be doing it, maybe the time is wrong. So both are sides. You can't neglect any of these sides.
Yes, and of course, if a person doesn't have enough of self-confidence, these profiles of ladies who said no will influence them not in a nice way, because they will be not sure at all that he wants to go on a date, that someone will like him. So of course it will be difficult for them to have this provement that I'm not good enough for dating. So of course it's not for everyone to see these profiles of ladies who said no. And also there is a minus in this situation, that we saw it for several times on real dates. When a client is coming to Kharkov, he's meeting several ladies, and for example, two of ladies, they are interested, they want to go on a date with him again. They want to have the second date, they want to get to know each other better, but he doesn't value these ladies, and he starts to concentrate on the exact lady who said no, and he starts to say that she had all the best qualities that he wants to see in his better half, that they matched each other so well, and he was sure that she's interested and why it happened. So
after talking to her for 2 hours,
one date, he decides that she was the one. And these guys, they start to concentrate on this exact lady who said no, and they ruin actually his other dates with ladies who were really interested. So he's not choosing for someone who has chosen him back. He's trying to choose this one exact lady who said no. So his strategy, first of all, it's not smart and it's not healthy, because he is trying to run for the train that already has gone. So and if he sees all these profiles of ladies who said no, there is a big chance that he will find the one the most attractive for him, and he will decide that why she said no. If she said no, she doesn't want to meet me, then I'm not interested in the process at all, because she was the one, I was sure, even without meeting her in real life, even without communicating.
Two stories, 3 points, really quickly, till I forget, and I hope you will share your opinion about them too. Not only online dates, offline dates. Like last year, we have scheduled a Zoom date, and the gentleman and the lady had a Zoom date, so they have talked for an hour and a half. So you have to have something in common if you were able to talk for an hour and a half. If you are talking especially about Zoom dates, because the two of you, your communication are, and the way you look on the screen, these are the only things that entertain two of you. You're not in the restaurant where you can add food, where you can add wine, where you can add live music, flowers. No, it's just you talking. And they had this call for about an hour and a half, a Zoom date. And the lady, she was interested. She said that she liked the communication and she would like to have another Zoom call. But the gentleman said that, no, I'm not interested. And in his case, I think he has dismissed her because she was a bit older than other matchers. She was 37 or 38. And the other ladies we have introduced him to were like 35 and 34. So it was not like a huge age difference, not like 35 and 45, for example. It was 34 and 38, so 4 years. The gentleman is in his early 40s, and he has dismissed that communication. The funny thing is that with the ladies who were in their early 30s, they also didn't build communication. So people do it both online and offline. So in my opinion, for some clients, it can be really beneficial to see how many people said no, to appreciate those yeses. But on the other hand, I can understand that some people, they will be so, they will feel so put down because of it. And they can get totally discouraged to continue dating. And another story that I wanted to share really quickly till I have forgotten. I have studied with the girl, and she had this very tricky habit, I would call it, about shopping. For example, we went shopping for shoes for her, and she would try the first pair. It won't fit. She had pretty big feet, so it was not easy to choose shoes that would fit for her, and big feet and wide feet. So she would try the first pair, and after that, she would refuse to try anything else. She will find numerous excuses, even though like other pairs, they wouldn't look like bad, or they wouldn't be too expensive or too cheap or of bad quality. It can be the same brand, but it can be slightly different. And she would do it every time. And once I told her that you don't really want shoes. If you wanted and needed shoes, you don't actually need shoes. If you needed shoes, you would buy the pair. You would try another pair, and then you will choose something that fit, looks good, and matches your budget. The funny thing is that she acted exactly the same way towards dating. Her attitude is very similar. So she would go out on a date with a guy, and if this guy, out of a sudden, after their date, even if they have spent the night together, won't call her, I would start giving her excuses like, I'm busy, I will call you in a week, I'm just leaving to another city, I have this business trip. She will fall for him like really hard. And she will tell that those 3 roses that he had given me and the way we have kissed in the taxi, she will romanticize like every tiny point. But if a guy will take her out, give her flowers, text her to thank after the date, call her the next day to ask her out for coffee or for dinner, she will lose interest after 2 dates. She will tell that he is boring, predictable, and she is still single, by the way. So no big surprise here. So this is the point that I wanted to make. And the third one, you have started talking about this client. I remember when we were talking about, we have introduced him to several ladies, and I think the first lady, she didn't like him that much after the date. Our client, he is very shy, and during the dates, he is more a quiet type, and the lady didn't like that. The second lady, she was kind of okay with it, but not super excited. And the third lady, she actually liked it, how quiet and shy he was. She said that they had it in common, and she felt comfortable not to talk all the time with him because she's just like that. And he told us that because the first 2 ladies didn't show much interest, he didn't see much sense into continue the matchmaking process, and he was not interested in any of it anymore because the first 2 ladies didn't like him that much.
It's a very strange strategy, and to be honest, I think it's like some anomaly about the exact people and their behavior in choosing their better half. It also, like you said, they will have it in other situations in life. They will do the same with friends. They will do the same with jobs. So if they try to find job, they will like the most exactly where they got no. And when they try to buy something, if there is no their size, they will like exactly this sweater most of all. I don't know what's happening with some people, but it's a reality. It's what we see in our experience too. And you know
Because
what
they don't really need those shoes. And for example,
Mm.
this girl, she doesn't really want a relationship with a man with whom she can build this relationship.
Yes, because they are choosing, first of all, they don't value people who are choosing them for the right reasons, and they don't want to choose someone who's choosing them back. So, if every time when you try to find your better half, every time when you decide to build a relationship, if every time you're choosing the person who is not choosing you back, then you have to analyze it. You have to change something, because while you do the same, you will get the same result. So for such people, it will be a really bad strategy to show all the profiles who said no, because they will concentrate exactly on them. They will not value someone who said yes. And it doesn't mean that this lady who said yes, she's less beautiful, not so smart. She can be really a very good potential match, but he will concentrate on someone who said no. So for them, the strategy, of course, it will be not the right one, because for them it will be difficult to understand and to value someone who showed sincere interest in them. And also, you know what I saw, of course it happens not so often, but it happened before. That's why I decided to bring it up. I remember that, for example, when we communicate with some potential clients after they had the first consultation with the matchmaker, and after that they say, let's do it in such a way. You will show me your female base of profiles. I will choose those whom I like, and then you will start interviewing them. Because what is the sense if you interview all the ladies and there is a big chance that I will not like them? So let me choose. Of course, here he's thinking only about photos. I'm sure that he will not read even the description in the profiles, because they will choose those ladies only by photos. And they want us to interview exactly those ladies whom he find attractive. And of course, the strategy, it reminds me, you know, what they're doing on the dating sites. And usually these guys, they have used dating sites before, when they can choose ladies by their height, eyes color, hair color. So they want to continue this strategy when they hire a matchmaker. But you have to understand that it's absolutely another type of the search, and it will be not efficient at all to do like you are asking to do it, because you will choose by photos, and you will have this again, the illusion of an endless choice. You will choose by photos, but but you don't even know if this lady can be interested in you, if this lady wants to have kids, if this lady doesn't have kids, because I'm sure they will not read any description. They will choose by photos. So there are so many details that
Oh, no, I think, Katerina, they will actually look if she has kids, and they will look at the age. Only two parameters and the picture, so three parameters.
Yes, so they will not concentrate on anything else. And they think that it is smart, because they will help us to spend time efficiently. Why do we have to interview ladies that he doesn't find attractive? Because he's sure that he will say no if we show him the profile of such a lady. So they try to continue implementing their actions on the dating sites when they hire a matchmaker. And of course, it's very, they don't want to understand that here it works in another way, that here this strategy, it will not work, that it's such
Here,
a...
you mean in real life? Because in real life, you can't just pick the photo. And what can you tell by the picture? You can pretty much say that, okay, she is blonde, or she has darker hair color. She has blue eyes, or she has brown eyes. She is skinny, or she is curvier. And pretty much this is it. Because you can't really, when people tell me that, oh, she looks kind, or this person looks like she wants to have kids. And sometimes when men give this description to a lady, I remember we had this lady in our database, and she didn't want to have kids. So she said that she is child free. She was into charity. She believed that there are so many animals that she had to rescue, that she didn't want to bring a child into this world. So, and she's a pretty blonde with 2 university degrees, and she was vegan or vegetarian. I don't remember exactly, but I remember that Her lifestyle was very peculiar. And sometimes when we ask gentlemen to complete certain homeworks during first consultations, to understand, in some cases, what type of personality, what type of looks he is searching for, or if he would be open to different age groups. So sometimes I show a potential client a list of several profiles and to ask them to describe what they find attractive or not attractive about certain profile. And several times I have used the profile of this lady, and the gentlemen have given me feedback that she will be a perfect mother. I can tell that she wants to have kids. And in her profile, below her pictures, it is actually written that she has written it about herself, that she believes that it is important to save all the animals, to save the plants, to clean the forest. So she doesn't want to invest her time and invest her life into raising kids. She wants to rescue the family. And she is looking for someone who shares this passion of hers and who is like-minded. So the men, they didn't even read below her profile. So they saw the pretty blonde with prominent chest. And they were written like, she's a good mother. I can tell it by her smile. And she's the girl next door who I know will be happy to relocate to Utah or will be happy to relocate there and here. So it is so funny. Or for example, they see a profile of a lawyer who is a professional lawyer, and it is written in details, like because the girl in her profile, she describes accurately what she does for a living, how many years she studied there, because for her it is important, and she has decided to put it into her dating profile. And the man tells you that I can tell that she is not career oriented. I can tell that she is a sweetheart, and she will accept me with my 3 kids. We will have 5 more kids and live happily ever after, because I don't want someone who is very career oriented.
Oh, especially I like it when I can say from her clothes that she's a very conservative person, and I'm sure that she's not so open-minded and easygoing, because her clothes was looked very classy. So they charge even by clothes the personality of the lady.
Oh, the girl is, of course, clothes can tell you a lot, but about a person. But guys, sometimes when women want to take pictures for a dating profile, she will borrow a dress by her sister or her friend, or she will rent the dress to look good at pictures. And sometimes I even tell ladies, they tell me that, oh, like lockdowns, I have been working from home. I don't actually have any new nice clothes to pose for pictures. You can ask your friend to borrow you a dress to take a picture, or you can rent that dress, or you can buy a dress. And sometimes women buy dresses specially to take pictures for a dating profile, because like in her telephone, there are like plants, cats, and a few selfies with friends. This is it. So, and this dress, she bought it specially for this photo shoot. She never worn it before. Maybe she will wear it on a date. So this dress, it says very little about her personality. Like her personality and everyday look can be hoodie and jeans because she works from home. For example, she's a web designer.
And I'm sure that if he does the way he's asking us to do, and he will choose, for example, 5 profiles, but they are photos that he is, like he's saying, attracted to, then there is a huge possibility that those ladies, they will not be open for this age gap. They will not be interested exactly in him. They will not want to have children in the future, and many other reasons. So we will tell him, even if we accept this model, we will interview exactly those ladies, and what he will feel if we tells him that, all of those ladies, they said no. They will feel only disappointment, nothing else. So they will think, he will think that we did our job in a bad way, that it's not he has chosen the wrong ladies, but that we did because we didn't prove them that he's a really good potential match and they have to be introduced to him. So I'm sure that he will say that the model is good, but it was our mistake that these ladies haven't chosen them back. So
I think the biggest pro for showing the photos and showing the profile of people we have interviewed is to actually show people how much work we do. Because after we have conducted this necessary interviews with the new client, and we tell him that now we got your photos, now wait, we start conducting interviews. For us, it's a crazy period because like every day, like Alessia tells us, oh, unfortunately, usually it's like that. Oh, I know a girl for James. And then she says that, she didn't like his picture. Then I tell that, oh, I know 2 girls for James. Let me talk to them. She doesn't want to date a Sagittarius, or she's not open to date someone who has kids. And then you go through this 30 interviews, sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes we are lucky, like 10 interviews. And for example, we get 2 matches. Not that often. And on the one hand, if we were showing these profiles to our client, I will see the amount of work we have done for him, amount of time we have invested, because usually an interview, it's not just showing a picture. It's like a dance. At first, Alessia or myself, we start telling a lady, asking how she is, talking about the guy she would like to meet, talking about her dating strategy, how she usually meets people. Sometimes during this process, I already understand that I don't want to introduce you to my client, or that she is not a good match for this exact client. But sometimes you have to talk about dating, about love, about relationship, so that 30 minutes later, you can bring your client into the conversation and actually show his pictures, because the lady will be prepared and she will be more open, for example, to date a single father, or to date a guy from Australia because she thought Australia was way too far, or to date a gentleman who is Asian, has Asian features, because before she was sure that she's only attracted to blondes with blue eyes. So it is a long process, but I think the idea is interesting.
Yes, it's interesting, and I think that anyway, we sometimes we face with guys who really it will be a huge plus for them to see the photos of ladies and profiles of ladies who said no. And I think that that agencies that really do it and they show these profiles, they also meet guys for whom it will be better not to see these profiles. So
yes,
of course,
it's individual.
Yes, it's very individual, but this model is interesting too. And of course, there are some people for whom it will work. But in my opinion, our model, we can say the number of ladies that were interviewed, and I think it will be enough to understand, for client to understand how many time, emotions, everything was invested into finding those 1, 2, or 3 ladies that said yes.
I agree with you that occasionally it's actually beneficial to tell the numbers. You remember that client and 80 interviewers before we found the girl who said yes. He's still single. So that gentleman, we have introduced him to ladies based on our agreement, and he even started dating one of those ladies. But then he has decided that they were all not beautiful enough for him, young enough for him, blonde enough for him, and he has decided to continue his search. We worked with him maybe 6 or 7 years ago. 2 years after that, he has returned to us and said that he wanted to hire us again. But then we did not end up working with him. First of all, because his criteria became even crazier, unrealistic. Even crazy and more unrealistic regarding like certain facial features, etc. Then he has returned to us a few years after that again, and now after we have announced that we are continue doing introduction, but in Europe, he also has texted asking if we could take him over. But now he wanted to date someone only in the year early 20s to middle 20s, only blondes, and the criteria became crazier and crazier and crazier, and they have nothing to do with a compatible, meaningful relationship.
Yes,
so they are not beneficial for this exact guy.
Yes, it happens that people don't understand that if you continue to do the same, you will continue to get the same result. So if you don't change your dating strategy, if you are not listening to any recommendations that you get from the professionals, then the result will be the same. You will be alone. Even if you have the dates, even if you will meet with some ladies, the result will be the same, because your criteria, they are really crazy, they are unrealistic. And while you're not honest with yourself, it will not work.
So, Katerina, as a conclusion, we have discussed with you pros and cons. In the conclusion, we would like to ask our subscribers, our followers, to share their opinion, because we have about 90% of our audience is male. So share your opinion. Would you like to actually, if you were our client, or if you are our client, you can send us an email. We would really appreciate it if you would share your thoughts with us. Would you want to get such a detailed information about the process, like the number of women who said no, the number of interviews we have conducted, and how many ladies have said no to a date with you, how many ladies we thought that they would be not a good match for you? Would you be willing to get this information, and especially to see the pictures?
Yeah, so you can share your opinion with us. It will be very interesting to read it. And of course, every time, if you have some topic that you want us to discuss, then share with us in the comments too.
We want to wish everybody love, and we will see you in the next video. Also, don't forget that now every week we share with you podcasts. So you can listen to us at SoundCloud, at Apple Podcasts, and I hope that soon on Spotify as well. We will add all our podcasts there. So if you want more practical dating tips and advice, you can find us on SoundCloud or on Apple Podcasts. And there, together with Katerina, every week we discuss interesting dating-related and relationship-related topics.
So
we wish you lots of love.
Bye.
Bye, guys.